Hello, my name is Alyssa Tarbett, and I'm a curriculum and instruction manager at iCEV. And I'm excited to talk about 3 courses that we have for Foundations of Cybersecurity, Fundamentals of Computer Science, and Computer Science 1, as I did help in the preparation as well as the execution of some of these different courses, and want to highlight some of the things that are going to be really engaging for students, as well as just really quality curriculum in teaching about these different topics. So all 3 of these courses are new to iCEV, so let's dive right in. So within the Foundations of Cybersecurity course, all of these different lessons make a compilation of a mix of video as well as PowerPoint-based lessons. So students are going to see a variety of media within these different lessons to teach them about these various topics. These videos range with having different footage or graphics on screen to show them the different components that are in the different lessons, depending on the topic. And then the course, as I scroll through here, just listing out and looking at the different topics, the course is very comprehensive for topics in this area of cybersecurity. So we can see that they range from digital citizenship and basic cybersecurity concepts to a variety of the different cybersecurity issues and vulnerabilities that either an individual or a system lends itself to. And so through those lessons, students can learn either about the individual components as well as how they all compile together to either like make a network or how they interact with each other within an entire cybersecurity system, whether that be at a place of work or their own school or their individual items that they use that are relative to cybersecurity, all of those different things. So that kind of talks about the topics. Now I want to dive into a few lessons and show you some interesting activities and projects, as well as just the structure of the lessons. So this lesson is a PowerPoint lesson. If we look at the lesson plan, and all of these different instructional materials that I'm about to show have some really great features. So if I would have shared my sound, you could see that if we highlight speech to text, it reads it aloud. Additionally, if we select language, you can toggle through the numerous amount of languages that we have here, and it will automatically translate it to that language. So maybe students that are English as second language learners or just need some different support or translations, then you can translate it back to English for those students that don't need it. But we think this is a great feature. This is present in all of these instructional materials that I'm going to toggle through. Just to quickly look through the PowerPoint itself, that lesson content presents itself in a very straightforward manner, and then the students have the opportunity to go through a range of activities and projects throughout the lessons. So there's a lot of good application of students applying what would apply to them individually. And so those have them reflect on what are the items that you use, that you have that may be lending itself to cybersecurity issues, or what items do you have in your house that make up your own network and things like that. So what I mean by that is in this activity, your PII, your personal identifiable information, students are asked to think about what are you putting out on the internet or things that are personally identifiable to you. So there's a lot of application here of students starting to think about digital citizenship and protecting themselves online and things like that, which are really great topics for this space. And then if we look at just a few other lessons, just to click through some projects, then you can see the different aspects of how it's incorporated maybe in a business setting or what they can think of after high school. Like I said, here's another great video in showing off these different graphics and animations. And then in the instructional materials, again, just to pull up a few other activities and projects. So this social engineering newscast is just a really unique way for students to think about these different topics of cybersecurity. So maybe they don't want to write a paper or research about these different topics. They want to take it a step further, and they conduct a newscast over the different topics. And so it's demonstrating these different items that are presented in the lesson and then in the project, just have a really unique way of showing that. There's some that are very individualized. There are some that are group projects to incorporate collaboration and students working together, as well as maybe some that have more teacher-led interaction with them to work through. So if needed, there is going to be different materials for you as a teacher to work through that with them. So another activity to show off. So the backup files, this is one that could be really cool in a classroom. So the students get into groups, and based on RAID 0 and RAID 1, the students have to figure out what's missing in the messaging. And so just tried to take a really unique approach to thinking about cybersecurity, how students use it in their lives, and how they could use it in future careers. So we think this is a really well-rounded course. So then to talk about fundamentals of computer science and computer science 1. So fundamentals of computer science is just that. It's more of an introductory level course in comparison to computer science 1, whereas computer science 1 will then build off of these fundamentals that are presented in this course. Again, a variety of video as well as PowerPoint lessons. So within these lessons, students learn about a range of topics in computer science. And so there's careers in the field and an introduction to careers, broad computer science topics, and then as well as an exposure to coding. So in this video here, students are introduced to algorithms and the process to using those. Again, just really interactive videos with very cool graphics and interactions all throughout the lessons. So that's really helpful to just keep them engaged. This video has a really cool cookie analogy of how using a recipe influences the output that you have. Instructional materials very similar to what I showed in cybersecurity, that those different components are going to have the capability to change the language and read aloud. There's a mixture of activities and projects in these two courses that they build on each other. So for example, this mathematical operators activity, where they do certain elements of using Python code, and then in a project, they build on those components of what they practice in the activity. So maybe they're using an element of a code that they developed in an activity in their final project to develop their overall algorithm. So just think that these are really great projects that build on the hands-on components that students are going to do throughout those activities and projects. This lesson also has some student handouts that are helpful along with that project that I just showed. So really taking the students step by step, providing them code and the things to think about or troubleshoot when needed. So there's some of that that's really applicable. And then another lesson in this course wanted to show off would be problem solving in computer science. So another video lesson here, just a wide range of assets to show off in these videos that, again, I think are going to be super engaging for students. And then same kind of song and dance on the activities and projects, some really applicable activities of debugging practice. So coding doesn't always work. We want to provide students an environment to think through that critical thinking process and troubleshoot and try to find those errors. And so the debugging practice activity is a great one for them to help identify those errors and then remedy them, and then understand just the problem solving process that occurs in computer science and thinking through those different aspects that could be applicable. And then a rubric to finalize that project for grading purposes. So computer science 1 is similar in those veins that it's a good mix of PowerPoint and video lessons to show off those different assets that are here. So if we look at some of the different lessons in this course, there are going to be, like I said, a mixture of video and PowerPoint lessons. So these will look similar to those that I've shown off. And then under those activities and projects, this one for problem solving processes, again, very similar meaning of what I mentioned of problem solving is a really important aspect of computer science and students understanding how to work through those different pieces. These last 3 issues are problem solving lessons regarding different issues that they may encounter within computer science. and wanting to help them assist through those different pieces. So some lessons may have more activities and projects than others. And like I said, these activities build into the projects. So developing sequential algorithms. So students taking their personal information or things that they would deal with their daily lives. So your morning routine and making lunch for themselves or whatever it is, and figuring out how those connections can really help them understand coding even better. So I think those are some really unique approaches that we've taken to develop these, and then algorithm practice for practical problems to finalize that lesson through this project here of the process of brainstorming and incorporating those different things that they learned in the lesson. So I think that those are really great aspects to these different courses and hope that you enjoy them and the work that our team put into them.